Lesson 10-9, Quadrilaterals. For today's lesson, there's going to be several vocabulary words, and then I'll give examples of each. You'll need to make sure that you have all of these written down in your notes because they'll be crucial to answering today's questions for your lessons. So our first big main one is quadrilaterals. Those are four-sided polygons. They can be classified according to the special properties of their sides and angles. Our first example of a quadrilateral is a trapezoid. This is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. So right here we have BC, and then we have AD, and those are parallel to each other. Remember, these two lines right here mean parallel, and parallel means these are never going to touch. Our next example is a parallelogram. That's a quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel congruent sides. Opposite sides as well as opposite angles are congruent. So here we have these lines MN, there is parallel to OP. MO is parallel to NP. So these sides are parallel, these are parallel, as well as we have this angle here is congruent to this angle. This angle here is congruent here, and then these sides are congruent. So that would be a parallelogram. The third example is a rectangle. That's a parallelogram with four right angles. So we see each of the right angles here marked. We see that ST is parallel to UV, as well as SU is parallel to TV. So that's another quadrilateral, is a rectangle. Here we have a square. That's a parallelogram with four right angles and four congruent sides. So we know that in a square, all sides are equal. They also have four right angles, and that's what a square is. Our last example is a rhombus. That's a parallelogram with four congruent sides. But the difference between a rhombus and a square are the angles. So on a square, we have four right angles. Here in a rhombus, we have no right angles, but the opposite angles are equal. Here we have a diagram showing how all quadrilaterals are related. So at the very top here, we have quadrilateral. Everything below here is a type of quadrilateral. They just get more specialized. So there, underneath the quadrilateral, we have a trapezoid. Trapezoid is of itself. There's nothing that branches off from it. We also have parallelograms. But then from parallelograms, we get even more specific into a rectangle and a rhombus. And then those go into a square to be even more specific. So all of these are examples of quadrilaterals. Make sure you have all of the notes written down from the lesson before you head off to do today's assignment.